This meeting of the Gadsden City Council will now come to order, and the chair calls on City Clerk Ivan Nelson for the roll call.
Councilman Harris.
Here.
Williams.
Here.
Avery.
Here.
Eccles.
Here.
Stewart.
Here.
Cannon.
Here.
Reed.
Here.
We have a quorum present. The meeting is open for business. I'm going to ask Councilman Harris to lead the invocation. Please stand and remain standing for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day. We thank you for your kindness and your goodness to us. We ask that you will be present with us as we go through these proceedings today. Lead us, guide us, and make sure that we are making those decisions that are pleasing to you. We ask that you will bless everyone here in this meeting today. Let there be civility, and let us be respectful of each other, and let us make those decisions that, like we said, are pleasing to you. Lead us, guide us, and direct us, and we will continue to give you all the praise and all the glory. These blessings we ask in Jesus Christ's name. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
The chair will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the work session and city council meeting held on May the 28th.
So moved. Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to approve minutes.
Chair will entertain a motion to ratify payment of the accounts for the week of May the 24th through the 30th.
So moved.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to ratify payment of the accounts.
Okay, proclamations. Mayor? We have a special recognition today, and I'm going to ask Commander Rob Savage to come forth and please conduct it.
Mr. Mayor, City Council, thank you for allowing us the opportunity to publicly recognize 3 individuals from the Joint Special Operations Group. JSOG is comprised of members of the Etowah County Sheriff's Office, the Gadsden Police Department, the Drug Task Force, and the Gadsden Fire Department. Commander Jimmy Gann, retired Commander and Deputy Sheriff Mike Bolton, and Paramedic John Nelson are presented with the Lifesaver Award. On March 14, 2013, JSOG Officer Detective Brandon Teague suffered a life-threatening emergency during a training operation. Gann, Bolton, and Nelson's life-saving actions and the emergency medical care they provided to Teague were in keeping with the highest traditions of the Gadsden Fire Department. Their actions and skills were directly credited by the attending emergency room physician with preventing serious complications or death. Their professionalism, quick action, and expertise reflect greatly upon them and their respective departments.
Hello. I'm Captain May. I don't even know my own name. And I'm with the Detective Division, and I also wanted to express my appreciation, as well as the men and women who work for me, to these excellent firefighters, medics. We are all connected. We are sons, we are daughters, we are parents. No doubt the family bond is our first and our strongest on this earth. As we grow and go our way, age creeps in, and we learn the human condition, how fragile it is, and how it can all be gone in the blink of an eye. Our lives are but vapors. Some of us become firefighters and police officers. Then it is something that we are. We spend our lives in a worthy cause, in the arena. 2 professions, so different but so beautifully paired, like peanut butter and jelly. Steeped in tradition, each its own. working in the rain, the cold, the dark, the heat of high noon, side by side, weary, tired, sometimes afraid. We continue forward, police and fire. With sincerest appreciation and gratitude, the Detective Division of the Gadsden Police Department wishes to thank Michael Bolton, Jimmy Gann, and Johnny Nelson of the Gadsden Fire Department for keeping our police detective, our brother, Brandon Teague, on this side of the ground when he had a heart attack during training in April. He is our brother, and you are our brothers. This is our bond, our glue, our culture, our commitment. No greater love has one than this, than someone lay down his life for his friend. John 15:13. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Chief, you want to say anything?
Again, on behalf of the entire department, let me express our appreciation for these individuals who came to the aid of my officer. And anything else, I think, would be pale for what's been said today, except for my sincerest thank you.
Fire Chief?
No, thank you.
Well, we appreciate what you do, gentlemen. The city couldn't operate without you, and the public loves you. So we thank you for doing this. Okay, unfinished business, we have none today. You're welcome to stay, or if you want to go, you can go.
I believe they just did that trick.
At least we didn't see any.
I believe they just
At least
did.
we didn't see any uniform patrolmen in here today.
This is a time and place as advertised to conduct a public hearing allowing anyone to speak in opposition to or in favor of a resolution ordering abatement of nuisances on property located 1302 Kyle Avenue in District 3. Donald and Juanita Berkey, Robert Haskell Brooks, Eula T. Brooks, and Ed Bonner being the last known owners. Is there anyone who would like to speak in opposition to this resolution? Is there anyone who would like to speak in favor of it?
Mr. President, I'm Brian Harbison with the Building Department. This is an old case that we reopened in January of this year. There have been no improvements to the property. There are no permits to improve. As you can tell in the picture, the house is actually tearing itself down. If we could just convince it to take itself to the landfill, we would be thrilled. That's probably not going to happen. We need a resolution so we can clean this up. Thank you.
Also, too, this is not a rehab house. So I'd bring that up.
Oh, man, I thought we could rehab that one.
You can salvage the foundation.
This foundation's
Does
still
anyone else
there.
like to speak in favor of it? What's the pleasure of the council?
Make a motion, we approve.
Second.
Is there any discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
New business? Is there any new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have one item that I'd like to ask for consideration today. It's a resolution authorizing an addendum to our agreement with Sprint. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent to consider this today.
Second.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider the resolution today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Move for passage.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
Yes, Mr. President, this again is this is authorizing an addendum to our existing agreement with Sprint, and this will allow for some capabilities that we currently don't have with our existing transportation fleet that will allow them to, it's essentially a technology upgrade. It allows them to move from using paper check sheets to do their inspections to now doing that electronically, which will allow for the transfer of that information and allow us to respond in a more timely fashion. So it's a move in the right direction, we believe.
Any other discussion? Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to adopt the resolution, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt.
Is there any other new business?
Yes, Mr. President, I have two, please. I'd like to ask for unanimous consent. I'll just do both of them together. One's 2013-134, 203-135. The 134 is pertaining to a $20,000 application we're trying to put in for the Etowah County Community Development Committee, which is House District 28. This one's going for Walnut Park Elementary School to resurface of the walking track. And the next one is 2013-135 is to construct a walking track at Floyd Elementary School, and this is also through House District 28. Mr. Ford's district, I'd like to ask for unanimous consent on this, please.
Second. Clerk, will you take the vote?
Those in favor to consider both resolutions today, let it be known by saying aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, consent has been granted.
Now move to adopt, please.
Second.
Any discussion? I think you discussed it, didn't you?
Yeah, I've already discussed that.
Clerk, will you take the vote?
Wish me well.
Those in favor to adopt both resolutions, let it be known by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, motion carries to adopt both.
Okay, is there any other new business? Somebody gonna do this dirty trash thing?
Yeah, a gentleman wants to speak if you want to line.
Huh?
The gentleman was ready.
I don't know if this is the appropriate time or not for new business, but I've got it posted and it's hard, not really fall.
He was the one going to speak.
Well,
He
you
canceled.
were on the agenda for this morning upstairs.
Okay.
We can let him speak.
Just let him speak.
They're gonna let you speak.
Okay. Can I approach the bench?
Go to the mic.
Microphone over here.
Okay.
Thanks. Well, you can just give them to her, she'll pass them out. Well,
And
that's okay.
He's going around.
Everything good.
I really want to get
Yeah, but you don't let Paul come up to the course. I know.
Coming through the ceiling, huh?
We need a door back there.
I'll make
State
this
your name-
brief because I am
State
a...
your name and address for the
Okay.
city clerk.
All right, I'm Terry Turk. I'm a resident of Etowah County. I live in Sardis City. All right, I will make this brief. I know I just have a few minutes on time. And apologize for not making the pre-council meeting. My dad just got moved to hospice during the night last night. We had kind of a difficult time. What I have is a proposal to restock the deer in the Nakalula Falls Park. And these sheets that I've passed out, if you could look at these, just to give a few reasons why I think that we should consider this, is first, that the existing deer are not approved by the Department of Conservation that are in the park. Right now, they are grandfathered under a different provision, but they are not up to date currently approved. Also, the existing deer has no CWD monitoring status, which is a chronic waste disease. And the Department of Conservation, their goal is in time that everyone that owns deer that is inside an enclosure, at time, this will have to be done. We have no control of the population in the pen. Back a couple of years ago, I know there were like 20 deer in the pen, and some dogs got in and destroyed a lot of the deer. But without they've set a new law this year that if a deer is born inside a pen, it cannot be released outside a pen. One that's born in the wild cannot enter a pen. So therefore, there is no control. The deer that are existing there now, there's not many alternatives, a place for them to go as they are right now. Should have brought my glasses. The deer, of course, has no choice but to inbreed. What you have in there now, there's 4 deer in the pen, and there's a buck in there, and he is going to be the sire of his daughters and his daughters' daughters and so forth, on and on and on. There will be no control of doing anything about that. The existing deer cannot be sold. They cannot be moved to a rehab facility, a release program, and they cannot be moved into the wild, as I was saying, and they cannot be given to any game breeder, and they cannot be released into a hunting preserve. This really limits where these deer could go in the future. No other deer can be added to the deer that exist in the pen now, not legally. I've checked on that, and that cannot happen. So some of the benefits of the change, which I would recommend, that I think would be great for the park, is that if we could move those deer that are in the park into a safe place, and I have talked with Chief Kevin Dodd of the Department of Conservation, and they would have to be moved into a zoo-type atmosphere like they are now. And I have made over 60 phone calls, and no one wants to accept these deer except for one guy found in South Alabama. And he is willing to take them at this time. In the future, I don't know whether he would or not, but at this time, he would accept the deer. So I've got back with the chief and talked with him, and he is satisfied with it. But there's a few things that's got to be worked out. So as far as the benefits of the change is, all of our deer that we have at our facility are legal. And we are with the Department of Conservation. The park does not have to purchase these deer. There would be no more vet bills. I would take care of that expense. There would be no expense on medications. I could split the cost of the feed. I know now a lot of that food is donated. What's not donated, I could split the cost of that. We are TB and brucellosis free. Our farm has been on the CWD monitoring program since 2004. Our herd is EHD vaccinated. The park will not be responsible for any injury, death, or any deer that may escape. We will assume all responsibilities of removing any dead animals in the pen. We have to take them to a state lab and have that checked out. That is by the Department of Conservation. If we was to, and that gives you the freedom too, that if we was to move a deer into that pen, if that buck has to be mean, destructive, if he's rowdy, whatever, we could remove him. We could go back to our stock. We've got over 200 head of deer at the house, and we could replace that animal with another. We could, if we could remove the existing deer into this place in Alabama, South Alabama, it's in Banks, Alabama, in Pike County. At this current time, that's the only place I know that would take them.
Your time is up. I didn't tell you, but you're supposed to limit your remarks to 3 minutes.
Okay.
5 minutes.
All right.
Excuse me.
Okay. If I could, just at the very back of the page, if I could allow you to look at it, you could look at it over there, and the balls in your court, it has been approved by everything except for the city of Gadsden. And what's in it for me is my love for the park. Me and my dad grew up. He worked at Republic Steel for over 40 years. He helped fund the park, and it's a meaningful place for me. We've been carrying him there through his whole entire time of cancer. And there's a little spot on there from UAB that if you could look at that, YouTube, Charles and Charlie, is a pretty nice story. Means a lot to us. Appreciate it.
Thank you. And I'm sure
Let me ask him a question. what is the expense in the city? Is there any expense? You indicate there's no expense, and you just handle this farm. How many deer would you put in there? It can't accommodate too many.
Not too many. Well, we would be able to control that. I can take deer out, put deer in. That's the only way that can be operated is through someone like me that has a permit to move them in and out.
And there's no cost to the city. You just do this out of the goodness of your heart. Is that right?
He said food.
Maybe
Split the food.
you're already paying, you're already having money out having to pay for the deer. And I know that they say your staff's a little short in the park, and I'm not here to apply for a job. I've got a full-time job. But what I'm saying is I could be very beneficial to the park as if you need any help, what's going on. And I will say this now, there is a very huge, large oak tree in that pen right now that's dead. If it was to fall, it's going to take the fence out from any direction that it falls. And I have got a lot of inside help with some professional people to remove the tree if we needed to. The deer, of course, would have to be out of the pen to get that tree out, but that is something that is going to have to be done because it's going to wreck the fence when it comes down. It's a very huge tree.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Have you,
I'm sure the mayor's going to look into it.
what does, have you talked with the gentleman? Have he talked with you about this issue yet?
No, that's the first I knew about it. I knew yesterday he was coming today.
Okay.
We can definitely look into it. It sounds like a win-win. I'll get with Lee, their attorney, because we'd have to have some kind of agreement to all the facts on liability and stuff like that. So,
Okay.
we'll see what's your telephone number?
It's on the paper.
Okay, I see now. Yeah.
Okay.
Department reports, committees, kind of.
Good morning. Thank you, Council President and council members. It is First Friday week, so here I am again. We've got probably the largest scheduled First Friday event-wise with different things going on we've had in probably since the inception of First Friday. We've got entertainment, Alliance Quartet, Persons of Interest, More Than This, the Matt Harvey's Blues Band, the Shane Gibbons Band, and a streetscape artist that the library is doing, Shane Martinez, and he's going to be in the Blackstone Courtyard. Let me get it right here. The purpose, again, of First Friday is to come downtown and shop. We'll be closing Broad Street from 1st to 7th Streets. The 400 block will be our food court, so you'll have food vendors to go along with our restaurants. So don't forget, we're closed from 1st to 7th, and just come on down and visit all of them. We've got great sales going on all over the place. There's book signings at the Alabama Gift Company. The Cultural Arts Center has a new exhibit with Bill Witherspoon. He will be there from 5 until 7. That exhibit is free. You can go upstairs and meet with him. And if you haven't seen the Turtles at Imagination Place, that is an event to see. It's a lot of fun, and they'll be open until 8 o'clock doing that. The Museum of Art will be open. Like I say, the businesses will be open. We're just going to have a good time. So great restaurants, food vendors, and a lot of good things happening. So one thing, too, is just to remind you, First Friday is from 6 until 9. Starting this month, we have the summer concert series that'll start at 9 o'clock, and it's a Journey tribute band. The name is Departure, so it will be in the amphitheater. I'm not even going to mention the rain word, but, you know, if it does, it moves into the convention hall. So that's also a free concert at 9 o'clock at the amphitheater. A lot of great things going on. Yesterday was our first Musical Monday with DJ Buster, who's sitting right here. Next Monday, if you missed it, 11:30 to 1:30. Just a good time to kick back and relax. And his music, the jazz music, is just very relaxing and a great thing to do. So bring your lunch and come and eat with Buster and let him entertain you. For more information, you can always go to our website, www.downtowngadsden.com, or if you're on Facebook, we have a Downtown Gadsden page, we have a DGI First Friday page, we just got all kind of things where you can get information that's going on. We appreciate the merchants. That's what makes all this happen. The classic cars that roll in bring a lot of people, and just come down and shop and go from one end to the other. Go from 1st to 7th. That way you don't miss anything at all. So we're looking forward to it. Again, you know, they promised me rain all day Sunday, so I don't believe anything they say anymore. We'll see. But y'all come on out and enjoy and have a good time and support your downtown merchants. Thank you very much.
I have a question. Kay?
Yes, sir.
it was just brought to my attention. Okay, you've got, what's going on in each block? Can you tell me what's happening in the blocks? What groups you got or what
Okay,
activities?
at 2nd Street, we've got the Matt Harvey Blues Band. That's at 2nd and Broad. Then at 3rd Street, we've got more than this. At, between, I guess, Broad and Court, I'll call it 4th Street, it's the Persons of Interest. At 5th Street, it's the Alliance Quartet. And in the 600 block, we have the line dancers. Now, that's where you get your exercise. They come out there and they dance and they have a great time. So we've got something on just pretty much every corner except for 1st and 7th, because that's where they block the streets off and it's difficult to put anything on those corners.
Okay, I just had some conversations with some of the merchants in the 600 block, and there still seems to be some problems with the scheduling. Can we reverse sometime and put bands down there as opposed to the line dancers, put the line dancers someplace else, or put cars down there, or put whatever?
Well, the 600 block is known as our special events block. For example, the Volkswagen Beetles that come out in August, we put them, that's called our special events block.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the tractors there, and I think September, October. So that's kind of what we kind of reserve that as that. The dancers require a bigger space, so we've moved them from the east side of 6th Street over to the west side, so they are now physically in the 600 block, because it had gotten so crowded there that, we were having trouble getting through. So they're now in front of the Federal Building, which gives us a little entertainment up that way.
Okay. You're still working on that issue.
Okay, good.
And
Okay.
you'll be hearing from me. I told you I'd get with you, but we're working on some things.
The cars, when the cars come in, they start filling up the blocks. It's hard to move them, and if you move the line dancers, you've got to have a big space to put them in, because they rope off their space, and that's why we keep them where they are. But if we need to move them, we can figure out if there's a better place to put them.
Okay.
All right? Thank you.
Okay, you want to start this morning?
Courtney needs to.
Courtney.
Parks and
Parks and
Recreation.
Rec got something.
Okay, he didn't tell me he wanted something.
Oh, he didn't tell you.
That's all right.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Start with the latter first. If we could we get a copy of that deer expedition too, so we can have some information on that as well? We haven't seen that information also.
You have my copy.
Okay. And list of activities that we got going on now. 6th Street Pool opened up this week. It's open in the morning time for day camps and summer camps at some of the churches and some of our day camps for swimming lessons and other activities, and it's open to the public from 12 to 5. Also, our summer nutrition program started up Monday. We have a list of those that's listed, and we're going to try to list them on 99 as well to show where our summer nutrition sites are. And also, our day camps open up Monday as well. We have 3 summer day camps this year: Carver, at Mitchell Community Center, and at Ewell Brown. Carver and Mitchell is full right now, and Ewell Brown is still accepting applications. And also, this Friday, the farmers market, it opens up at the tourism building in the parking lot. It'll open up this Friday morning. And also, we'll have a list of our phone numbers for our community centers. We're going to try to get them listed on 99 as well. So if you have any questions about operating hours or times they're going to be open, we'll list those numbers so you can call and get the information. Thank you.
Courtney, what's the age of those kids that can attend the camp?
They start from kindergarten age up until 12 years old.
Kindergarten to 12.
Right.
Thank you.
All right.
Well, you go ahead on. I'm just going to make a comment about, you say you want me to go ahead on and start?
Starting?
Okay, I can start then. Okay, good. Chief, I'm going to ask, and I didn't get a chance to get with the mayor, send a memo, but I will follow up with one. I've already got complaints about the young people hanging out at the Carver Center with where all our children are. I understand that there might have been an altercation out there yesterday, and I mean, we can't have it. If I have to take personal money and hire off-duty police officers to put out there to stop it, we're going to do it. We can't have them gathering back out at that Carver Center anymore. We got rid of that problem. We're not going to have it.
So if you can help us with that. This was way before your time. They used to hang out at the community center, right? But we got our young children out there now, and I understand that some of the teenagers and other folks are hanging out there now, and there might have been a fight, and I don't know if there was any shots fired or anything or whatever, but we just can't have them hanging around out there where our young children are. That's the first thing. So if we can look into that, I would appreciate it if we can get somebody out there on a regular basis to make sure they don't gather out there. I'm getting those complaints, so I can't deal with that. You know, I had several things I was going to talk about today, and of course, I don't know where to start. But I've got to say this because it's burning, and I know this is something that people say, well, why you want to talk about it? It don't deal with us. It deals with us. I can remember 6 or 8 months ago here in the state of Alabama where the lieutenant, not the lieutenant governor, but the attorney general and several other groups were targeting black groups about voting, about getting out to vote, and nobody said a word. Now all of a sudden they being attacked because they're trying to talk about the fact that they're targeting tea parties and everything else. Now they want to cry. Now where were they 6 or 7 months ago when they were targeting black folk? And then they want me to cry for them now when they're targeting them. And that's why we got to be consistent when it comes down to people targeting people, regardless of whether you agree with what they do and what they say or not. People have a right. And I wish we would be more in tune to this thing called diversity. And that's why it brings me back to our city. We've got to actively make sure that we be inclusive. It just don't happen. And you can't let one segment of the community suffer down and then think when something comes to you, then you should be treated any different than the way that other community was treated. It's just so happened you've got people now in Washington, or supposedly that's what they think. They got somebody in Washington now who's targeting Tea Party and conservatives. But when they was targeting blacks and liberals, nobody spoke out. As a matter of fact, the conservatives was happy and tickled to death about it. Well, I'm not happy and tickled to death that they're targeting conservatives and Tea Party folks, because I think everybody has a right to do what they want to do. But until you feel that way, and I'm talking about those groups, we're going to forever have this problem. We're going to forever have this problem. You can't have it one way. It's got to be both ways, and that's why we've got to get this diversity thing going. That's why we got to start respecting each other's right to exist, each other's right to do whatever, as long as it doesn't infringe on your right. Whenever we get to that point, this is going to be a better world to live in, and I hope I live to see that. But it just galls me every time I turn on the TV now. Somebody's crying about the IRS trying to stop them from organizing. Well, you didn't cry a few months ago when they tried to stop black folks from organizing. So put on your big boy clothes and suck it up and go on about your business.
Henry?
I don't have anything, Mr. President.
Billy?
Thank you, Mr. President. Oscar Adams Elementary School, one of our elementary schools in East Gadsden. You know, all of us spend some of the discretionary funds that we have available to us to support all of our schools in the city of Gadsden and other activities. Without the council using some of your discretionary funds to support these groups, they would not, these schools. There are a lot of things that would not be done. There are a lot of activities that they wouldn't have. There are a lot of events that they could not participate in and trips they couldn't make and everything else because the school budget won't allow them to do it, but we feel like it's necessary to participate. So we've participated. Your council has participated in giving your some discretionary funds to these events, and Oscar Adams Elementary School had a field day last month, during the month of May, and they were just they were tickled to death that they were able to do that. And the only reason they would be able to do that was because of the discretionary funds that the city council gave to them so that they could participate. And those kids have given us some little beautiful thank you cards, thank you notes, handwritten, handmade thank you notes to show us that they appreciate our participation. So I'm encouraging that we continue to support our schools, our local schools, in that manner, and I know we will continue to do that. But I also understand, our citizens understand that we support them 100%, and we will continue to give them the discretionary funds so that they can participate in some of those events that we deem necessary to round their education. And of course, I really, in particular, don't mean sports. Thank you.
Mayor?
I'll piggyback a little bit on what Billy was talking about, how supportive the city and the council and the mayor's office has been to the Board of Education. We're probably, in the last 6 years that I've been here, and most of these guys have been here, I think we're somewhere between about $11 and $12 million total, a couple $1,000,000 a year, and that counts our payment as well. So we're doing all we possibly can, I can tell you, especially in this day and time. I'm just glad we can support them. But we certainly do not let the school. We've bought iPads for most of the elementary schools. I mean, I could go on and on and on about a lot of different things. The Career Tech building, that's where most of the money is now. If we can get some kids in there, and the parents, you really need to get your kids to check out Career Tech. You can still go get a 4-year degree in college. I've had $50,000 a year set aside for scholarships to Gadsden State for Career Tech. And that would pay for 25 at $2,000 a person, 25 scholarships. Anybody from Gadsden City High School who has a C average that wants to go to Gadsden State and get him one of the Career Tech programs that we offer here, which is several: heat and cooling, automotive, electrical, cosmetology, robotics. I can't even remember all of them. There's so many. But that'd be 25 scholarships. You know how many scholarships we've had since in the last 6 years we've been doing that? Zero. Zero. Nobody pays any attention. Career Tech is where the money is. You can go get a degree in business. You may not be able to get nothing outside of a labor job. You get in Career Tech, there's a couple guys that it's been about 3 or 4 years now, went to work right out of high school, didn't even go to junior college. And for a heating and cooling company locally, they're making around $22 an hour. There's all kind of positions. Welding, we don't teach welding there, but you can go to the junior college and get certified in welding in a couple of months, and you can start out about $22 or $23 an hour. There's a place right down towards Steel there that's hiring as many as they can get. And but you just can't get the word out. I've talked in churches, I've been on TV, I've done all these things, I've gone to PTA meetings. If you want your child to get a good paying job, Career Tech is the fastest, best paying you can get. And it's free. You go to the high school and get trained. You can go to junior college on the scholarships we got with the C average and get certified. That's all you have to do. But people need to talk that up, see if we can get some kids going. One little guy who went through Career Tech, he took electrical course just because he was a little interested in it. But he made such good grades all through school, the teacher encouraged him to go for an electrical engineering degree. He went to Alabama A&M, finished in 3.5 years, and went to work for BP. And I'm sure he's making a lot of money, which I'm glad. But anyway, he sure is. But there's just a lot of things that we have that you can take advantage of, but nobody ever discusses that, and I'd really like to see a push from everybody, parents, city employees, media. We need to get some people in Career Tech that want to get a good paying job, and they can still go to school and get a 4-year degree as well. Thank you.
Just like to comment, we honored some of our first responders this morning, our police and fire department. We're very, very fortunate in Gadsden to have those two groups that do an outstanding job. You can call 911, within 4 or 5 minutes, you'll have a fire medic at your door. That's great, and it's good to know how responsive they are and how quickly they get to your house. It's just reassuring to know that. So anyway, thank you to all the police and firemen that do a great job. We appreciate it.
Johnny.
Thank you, Mr. President. I hadn't told y'all guys this, but I think we might ought to try to revisit our noise ordinance. I've had a bunch of complaints this summer where people's had loud radios going on, and our ordinance, the chief's checking on it, but I believe it says after 10 o'clock, we can do something about it. There's a lot of folks, elderly people, that go to bed before 10 o'clock at night, and they don't want to hear those radios booming and all that, next door. So I just want to let y'all know we're probably going to have to revisit that issue because summertime's here, and I've had a bunch of complaints. And also, I've sat on some porches that the neighbors just rocking the porches, and, we just don't need that kind of stuff in the city. That's all I got.
Ben.
Yeah, I wanted to thank Buster Porch for yesterday. Had a good time. And he promised me, Billy, next month I can sing at the water wall.
Oh, no, please.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
What day?
Oh, let me know what day, Buster, that's going to be, so I make sure I'm out of town.
I'm due Eddie with Nat King Cole. Yeah. And he also brought his grandson back. Can you believe this? KJ Porch, the man is from Lawrenceville, Georgia, and I just happen to be from Athens, Georgia. And he's not a Bulldog fan. I can't figure out what in the world's wrong with him. Yeah. KJ, good to have you here, buddy, sure enough. The police department, Bill, I feel safe all day, and I sleep well at night because of the police, the sheriff, the fire department, and EMA. We got protection like you wouldn't believe, and it's just as near as your telephone, and they're there. So we should really appreciate each and every one of those, and a big thank you to them. Of late, 10 years, 12 years, however many, I truly believe the Constitution of this United States has been circumvented. We've abused it, and maybe it is time to take another look at it. But I think we better start at the top rather than the bottom. We're top heavy, and I really mean that. We've been circumventing it too long. That's all I have.
I'll entertain a motion, we adjourn.
So moved.